Sathyam Sivam Sundaram, Volume 3, Chapter 15. Live in Love. You have no reason to fear God, for love transcends doubt and fear. Love God as a companion and respect Him as a devotee must. Baba becomes childlike in company of children, a scholar among scholars, a doctor among doctors, out of his love, for he wants to put everyone at ease. Some wear a provocative twinkle of a skilled dialectician or have a raised brow of pedantry. They are too keen to decry others, advertising themselves. They are like vultures flying high only to seek carrion over a wider circle, writes an aspirant who went around India seeking a guru. Paul Brunton was advised to pray every day to God so that he may be led to the man in whom God is at present incarnated. The incarnation comes down through love, and so the mark of incarnation is above all love. Try and see yourself in all, then you will not love one person more and another less, realizing that they are both yourself. When love is shared, peace reigns. All worldly relationships are based on the principle of give and take. The highest form of love is expression between a devotee and God, a devotee being intent on merging with divinity. Thereupon, love flows towards everything and every being. According to Baba, God is love, the lover is the individual, and the beloved is nature. Knowing fully well that nature is under complete control of God, why be under its spell? Realizing God's prevalence everywhere, let us learn to love the Creator, since creation is nothing but His manifestation. Baba says that we should direct all our thoughts towards God, but we cannot do so until our mind is under control. It is only through protracted practice that we succeed in living in God, that is, in love through His grace. Almost everything that goes wrong in the relationship of man with man goes wrong because the self impulses outweigh the altruistic impulses, or because we overvalue the satisfaction of appetite and undervalue the satiation of our spiritual hunger. True happiness for human being is possible only to those who develop their God-like potentialities to the utmost. This is the way to the God, known as the path of love. In Gita, the Lord said, "The Lord, O Arjuna, is seated in the hearts of all beings. Fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice to me, prostrate before me, so shall you come to me. You have no reason to fear God, for love transcends doubt and fear. Love God as a companion and respect Him as a devotee must." Baba becomes childlike in company of children, a scholar among scholars, a doctor among doctors out of his love, for he wants to put everyone at ease. Feeding the poor, service to those in jails, visiting deaf and dumb, the blind, leprosarium, mental hospitals, these have been laid down by him as the highest sadhana. When you sit for japam or dhyanam, if you hear one groan, rise and investigate. Helping the people to get rid of the pain gives more spiritual merit than dhyana you miss. Baba's love for his devotee is expressed in many ways. Once at Dharmakshetra, there was a gathering of teachers of the Bal Vikas in Satyadip. After the meeting commenced, the bhajan parties from below hill was also invited to join. Hurrying up the steep incline, many were short of breath, but one elderly lady seemed to suffer a great deal. Baba made her sit down, leaning against the wall under a fan. Then he disappeared for a moment, only to reappear with a glass of water which he gave the lady to drink. He cannot tolerate anyone standing in the sun waiting for darshan and is bothered when, due to rain, devotees are drenched. During the hot summer months, Baba allows the prayer hall at the Nilayam to be used by old or sick women to sleep in. It is love that prompts him to distribute sweets to each individual himself, though there are thousands present, and to eat ever simple food so that even the poorest person may offer him hospitality. The practical application of love is clearly seen also as Baba walks gracefully between lines of people who wait patiently to be selected for a private interview. Ailing children are picked out of for a special blessing. They are spoken to or given vibhuti. The sick, the aged, the socially spurred, and economically backward are all dearly loved by him and cared for. He uses a Telugu proverb to assure that however far you may sit or however many the number of people around you, he will spot and bless you, provided your prayer is sincere. He says, "You are of the same body. Be happy that you are a limb. Do not complain that you are only the foot, or be proud that you are the head, for it is the same bloodstream of love that circulates and sustains both." When people come to him, pathetically crippled, unable to bend and touch his feet, he raises a foot so that it can confer the healing balm of peace. I always anticipate the prayer, the moment of calamity for my bhaktas, and I intercede in time to help them or save them, he says. He has spoken of the seed of love planted in the heart of men, sprouting in the family, spreading over kith and kin, the village, the community, and finally bringing under its shade the whole of mankind. When teaching meditation, he directs the concentration on the flame in is the best way. Imagine the flame in middle of the brow. Imagine the light entering the cave of the heart and illuminating it. Let this light destroy all hate, greed, and ego. Let it flood your entire being. Then let it emanate from you and take into its fold wider and wider circles, embracing all mankind, all being you regard as friendly, and even those you have set aside as unfriendly. Years ago, Baba stayed for few days at Hosley Hills, which is 3,800 feet above sea level. Twice a day, he would take us to some beauty spot where we could peacefully learn from him spiritual matters. Our little camp, situated as it was amid the hills, was inaccessible except by jeep, so our food and water for drinking had to be hauled up by the villagers from the small hamlet at the foot of the hills. For other purposes, a buffalo at the bungalow helped to transport water from a well in skin bags slung across its back. This quiet sylvan beauty was enjoyed by all, and we were privileged to share it with Baba. Then came the day when we had to break the camp and return. Baba proposed that we walk down together. He suggested that we try and see who could run down the fastest. Baba interrupted, saying, "Wait, I will be back in a minute," and went into the garden. Some of us quietly followed him and found him taking leave of the buffalo. He patted it affectionately, saying, "You have done me good service, Bangaru," a term of great affection meaning gold. Baba is kind to all who serves in and through all, even in the littlest way. In the village of Bikkakati in Nilgiri Hills lived a lame dog called Kutan, meaning the lame one. He was a very old, loving dog, yet alert where strangers were concerned. Baba, on visiting the village in 1962, walked down the carpet laid out for him. Kutan strained at the leash by which he was held lest he pounce on Baba. But Baba stopped and patted him and asked that he be let loose, saying, Bangaru, leave him alone. He is a pure Atma. So Kuttan followed Baba up the dais, sat and listened to bhajan, and later followed him into the kitchen, where Baba, after blessing the food, asked that Kuttan be fed first. When he finished his meal, he walked up the decorative dais and stood beside Baba's chair, watching the long lines of villagers having their food. After a while, Kutan placed his head upon Baba's footstool and within a few minutes breathed his last. Everyone felt that he was a pure soul. He was buried near the dais in a flower shroud. Baba has had many pets, dogs, rabbits, peacocks, and now the elephant Sai Gita, who adores her master so much that should he be away for long, she sheds tears. If stray dogs are led away from the Nilayam so that silence of the place may not be disturbed by their barking, instructions are issued that they are taken to a place where food is available. He asks, for of what avail is to simply worship my name and my form without attempting to cultivate my samatra, equal love towards all, shanti, unruffled equanimity, prema, love, sahana, patience and fortitude, and ananda, blissful nature. I sing bhajans after every discourse for your sake, not mine, so as to enable you to become aware of the sweetness of the name, which cleanses the mind, by which you can realize that God is ever within you in your physical and spiritual being. God has, it is said, two types of deluding powers, a Vidya Maya and Vidya Maya. Sometimes his Maya makes us feel that he is a mere human and we partake of acts which inflate the ego, makes us feel important and all powerful. The fog of pride hides the reality. This is avidya. When we submit to his will, he shows signs and wonders that make us eager to follow the right path. This is Vidya Maya, from which we learn that it is in him we live and move and have our being. He and we are one. Only thus do we cleanse and purify our attitude, habits, and judgment and discover God in His true manifestation, that is, as living in all things created. The recognition that we and others are mere puppets in His hand will be imprinted on our consciousness through the meaningful recitation of His name. Then we start dwelling in Him, through Him, and for Him. People from all parts of the world who have had the privilege of being near His lotus feet try to remodel their life, change their worldview and their sense of values. The silent psychological revolution affecting lakhs of people illustrates the gift of grace. The real sadhana, according to Baba, is to rake up the field of our heart and to cultivate in it the most valuable crop we can. Om Sai Ram. End of chapter 15.